Hey there. Here's a little video of this Ampeg Gemini II. Let's see. Fired it up on this current limiter here earlier and seemed to do okay till I got it up to full power. And then when I really cranked it up, it started to kind of get some nasty noises and stuff, like something's wrong. So the good news is that current limiter shows no shorts. This light bulb would light up, really bright if there were any shorts. So it didn't seem to have anything shorted. So I took the amp out of the chassis, and here we go. First thing I notice is it does have a replaced output transformer. Somebody, rigged this up to the, this transformer is physically smaller than the one that's supposed to be there. The original one would have a laminated, stack of metal in the middle that's like twice the size of this. So this is a bit undersized for this amp, but it seems to be hooked up relatively okay. It's a multi-tap primary on the transformer, so you can use it for different impedances. Right now they've got it hooked up, kind of difficult to describe, but anyway, they have it hooked up. It'll work right the way it is, except for one thing. If you look at the schematic here, on the schematic, let me get a little pointer. You can see this is the output transformer. It's got an 8 ohm tap that goes to the speaker here, and it also has a 16 ohm tap that is a negative feedback loop that goes to the phase inverter here. And on this particular amp, there's no way that that's hooked up because all these other secondary wires are not hooked up to anything. So, that in itself may not be the worst thing, because without the feedback, it'll probably get more distorted earlier as you turn it up. So it may actually sound better for rock music without the feedback. But anyway, that's just something I noticed. The big issues are, or what I'm suspecting is the issues, is this is the old filter cap for the power supply. You can see someone has hot melted a piece of cardboard there to keep this kind of from rattling around. This in itself is just so old, it should physically be replaced. They should be replaced about every 20 years. So let me flip the amp over and let's dig into what I see on the other side. So here we go. Here's the other side of that can capacitor. And if you can see all of this stuff here, these orange Sprague atoms and this other capacitor here, these aren't even supposed to be there. Neither are these resistors. And also that I don't know if you can even see it, there's this other resistor here that's covered in hot melt. I don't know what somebody was trying to do there. All this stuff has been, monkeyed with, reworked, whatever you want to call it. I tried to, take a look at what they were doing, trace it out, and it's actually, they've got these capacitors in series with the old can capacitor, the one that really should be replaced. I'm not sure why anyone would do that. The resistors are there to balance the voltage between the two capacitors in series. In the schematic, it basically means that, you've got your power coming in, and it gets rectified by these diodes. Then you've got this first filter section here. Then you've got your second filter section here. They're supposed to be tied with a 470 ohm resistor between them. That resistor is missing, and what they've actually done is they've taken another capacitor. Instead of ground here, they've got another capacitor in series with it before it hits ground. I don't know why they would do that, other than when you put the other capacitor in series, it cuts the value of the capacitor in half. So less filtering, again, may make it break up sooner, if that's what they were going for. But I really don't understand why anyone would do such a thing. Not to mention that this stuff is loose and it just moves around. Every time you move the amp, this stuff's just rattling around, and all these leads and stuff are, they're just hanging in free air. So it's really not supposed to be like that. Not to mention, you've got all this stuff like hot melted and zip tied and all that stuff. I'll get something up on the computer to show you that this is what it's really supposed to look like. This is an upside down shot of what we were just looking at, but you can see the can cap just has these terminals on the bottom, and all these other capacitors are mounted up here on the board. So I would, before I would even get into any of the other issues with the amp, I would really have to say that this power supply needs to be basically rebuilt back to its original form before we do anything further with the amp. A couple other things. Someone did put in a 3-wire power cord. It's got looks like a decent safety ground there, and it's wired to the fuse like it's supposed to be. But this here, this neutral wire, I have no idea why it's just shrink wrapped to the. I'm assuming that's got to be the primary of the power transformer, but this isn't supposed to be like just hanging out free like that. This is supposed to be like soldered onto probably one of the lugs of the power switch down here, where I don't know if you can see the switch way down there, but this was probably originally connected there. I've worked on one of these amps before. These amps also have this really weird thing with the, I don't know if you can see it here, the way that the indicator light is wired. And, this 270K resistor, this actually acts as a bleeder. When you turn the power switch off and you unplug the amp, it'll bleed the voltage out of the capacitors if the switch is in a certain position. But anyway, the light is kind of key to how this whole standby switch operates and all this stuff. So we'll probably check that out and make sure that that's all set too. But yeah, this has got to go. Not sure what to say other than, if you want me to do anything with it, all this has to be done first. And the parts to redo this, I think the kit from Flip Tops is probably $80 it replaces the can cap and replaces these guys here and replaces this guy here, along with your bias cap, with all new stuff. And it'd probably be, a few hours to put it in. We can talk about what the, how much labor would be. It's probably I would imagine it's probably gonna take me quite a couple hours to get it done, because I don't work on these every day. So not sure what else to say right now other than with a few fixes it could probably be a pretty good amp again. All right, that's it for now.